The galaxy had waited for this moment for a very long time. Across hundreds of star systems, screens lit up. Ships slowed their engines. Weapons were powered down. This was not a battle. This was history. First contact. The Galactic Council had invited a new species to speak. A young species. One that had only recently learned how to travel between stars. They called themselves humans. From the start, everything felt calm. Too calm. The meeting took place in open space, far from any planet. A neutral zone. Alien diplomats arrived in elegant ships, glowing with shields and colors. Some ships were shaped like crystals. Others looked alive, breathing slowly in the dark. Then the human ships arrived. They were small. Simple metal shapes. No glowing symbols. No massive cannons on display. No fleets hiding nearby. Just a few quiet vessels, floating without drama. Many alien leaders exchanged looks. "These are the humans?" one of them asked. "They don't look dangerous," another replied. Inside the main council chamber, the atmosphere remained polite. The humans appeared on the central display. They were tall, soft-skinned creatures with calm eyes. No sharp teeth. No claws. No armor. They wore simple clothing. No crowns. No signs of power. The lead human stepped forward. His voice was steady. Not loud. Not proud. "We come in peace," he said. The translator repeated the words in 100 languages. Peace. That word echoed through the chamber. Alien commanders relaxed slightly. Some even smiled. For generations, first contact usually ended in war or fear. But these humans seemed different. They bowed their heads slightly, a gesture of respect. No threats. No demands. The humans spoke about trade. About shared knowledge. About learning from each other. They asked questions. They listened carefully to the answers. They did not interrupt. They did not boast. They did not show fear. To the Alien Council, this behavior meant only one thing. Weakness. A tall alien commander, covered in silver armor, leaned toward his advisors. "They survived this long by hiding," he said quietly. "They are careful prey." Another council member agreed. If they had real strength, they would show it. The humans never mentioned war. They never spoke about their past battles. They never explained how many of their own worlds had burned before they reached the stars. They simply smiled and waited. That silence confused the council more than anger ever could. Most species bragged during first contact. They listed victories. They showed weapon systems. They warned others not to test them. Humans did none of that. Instead, they thanked the council for the invitation. They asked permission before speaking. They even apologized when a translation error caused confusion. To many aliens, this behavior felt almost embarrassing. A reptilian diplomat laughed softly. "They act like guests, not equals." Another replied, "They will learn their place soon enough." The meeting continued peacefully for hours. Agreements were discussed. Basic rules were shared. The humans accepted every condition without argument. No resistance. No challenge. By the end of the session, the council reached a quiet conclusion. Humans were harmless. As the screens dimmed and ships began to leave, the council leader spoke one final time. "We welcome humanity to the galactic community," he said. "May this peace last." The human representative nodded once. "We hope so too," he replied. His face showed no emotion. As the human ships turned away and prepared to jump to hyperspace, something strange happened. Several alien sensors picked up faint readings. Energy patterns. Old and unfamiliar. But when operators checked again, the readings vanished. A junior officer hesitated. "Sir, should we investigate?" The commander shook his head. "It's nothing. Human technology is primitive." The officer nodded, though unease stayed in his mind. Far away, in the dark space beyond the meeting zone, something moved. Silent. Watching. Waiting. The galaxy believed first contact was over. They believed they had judged humanity correctly. They believed calm meant safety. They were about to learn the most dangerous lesson in the universe. Calm does not mean weak. After the humans left, the calm did not last. The Galactic Council chamber slowly emptied. Diplomatic ships jumped away one by one. Laughter echoed softly as alien leaders spoke about trade routes and future profits. But not everyone was relaxed. In a smaller chamber, far from the public halls, a private meeting began. Only senior commanders were allowed inside. The doors sealed shut. Silence filled the room. A tall alien historian activated an ancient display. The screen flickered, showing old star maps. Many systems were marked in red. Some were completely erased. "These records are forbidden," one commander said. "Why bring them now?" The historian answered calmly, "Because today, humans joined us." A low murmur spread across the room. Most leaders had already dismissed humans as weak. But a few remembered. The screen changed again. Destroyed fleets. Burned worlds. Broken empires. "These are not human victories," the historian said. "These are civilizations that attacked humans first." The room grew colder. One commander crossed his arms. "Humans never mentioned this." "Exactly," the historian replied. He zoomed in on one ruined system. This empire attacked a human colony long ago. They believed humans were soft. Easy to break. Another image appeared. Nothing survived. They pushed humans too far, the historian continued. And humans responded. A younger officer frowned. But humans today showed no anger. No threat. The historian nodded slowly. "That is what scares me." The room went silent. Every experienced commander knew the truth. The most dangerous enemies were not loud. They were quiet. Another commander spoke, his voice low. "We have legends about them." Everyone turned toward him. "Stories told to young officers," he said. "Warnings. About a species that smiles while preparing for war." Some leaders laughed nervously. "Legends are not facts," one said. The commander did not smile. "Legends start somewhere." The historian changed the display again. A single word appeared. Terrans. "Humans do not call themselves this often," the historian explained. "But when they fight, this is the name they use." The room felt heavier now. "Terrans do not rush into war," he continued. "They study. They wait. They prepare." One leader leaned forward. "Then why come peacefully today?" The historian answered slowly, choosing every word. "Because peace is their first option." "And the second?" someone asked. The historian did not answer. Instead, he showed one final image. A lone human warship. Massive. Dark. Silent. "This ship appears in several records," he said. "Always alone. Always late." "Late?" a commander repeated. "Yes. It arrives after the fighting begins." The leaders exchanged uneasy looks. "What happens when it arrives?" one asked. The historian paused. "Wars end." No one spoke. Outside the chamber, in open space, alien patrol ships continued their normal routes. Sensors showed nothing unusual. The humans were gone. Or so they believed. In deep space, far beyond common travel lanes, something watched. A Terran observation vessel drifted without power, hidden in the shadow of a dead star. No lights. No signals. No movement. Inside, human officers studied data feeds quietly. No excitement. No celebration. Just focus. They underestimated us, one officer said softly. They always do, another replied. The captain stood near the viewport, looking at distant stars. Keep listening, he ordered. No action. Yes, Captain. Back on the council world, the private meeting ended without a decision. No alerts were sent. No warnings issued. Officially, humans were allies. Unofficially, fear had begun to grow. That night, several alien commanders could not sleep. They remembered the human representative's calm eyes. They remembered his polite voice. They remembered how he never once asked for protection. And deep down, they all felt the same thought forming. Humans were not weak. They were patient. And patience, in war, was more dangerous than any weapon. Somewhere in the dark, a Terran warship was already moving. 3 days passed after first contact. To the galaxy, everything looked normal. Trade ships moved between systems. Patrol fleets followed their usual paths. News channels praised the success of peaceful contact with humanity. Analysts called it a safe alliance. But space has a habit of warning those who know how to listen. On the edge of the neutral zone, an alien monitoring station picked up a strange reading. Not strong. Not fast. Just, wrong. A junior sensor officer leaned closer to his screen. Sir, I'm seeing a distortion. The commander barely looked up. Background noise. The officer checked again. The signal was still there. No clear shape. No known energy pattern. It doesn't match any drive system, the officer said carefully. The commander sighed. Then ignore it. But the signal did not disappear. It grew. Not brighter. Not louder. Closer. Across nearby systems, sensors began to fail for a split second at a time. One blink. Then normal again. Most crews blamed old equipment. Only veterans felt uneasy. This feels like a shadow, one patrol captain muttered. Then it happened. Every long-range scanner in the region went silent at the same moment. No alarms. No warnings. Just silence. Stars vanished from displays. Navigation maps froze. Even communication signals hesitated, like space itself was holding its breath. Panic spread slowly. What's happening? A station commander demanded. Technicians worked frantically. We don't know, sir. There's no explosion. No energy surge. Then what caused this? No one answered. In the center of the blackout zone, space began to bend. Not violently. Smoothly. Like water parting around something massive. A shape emerged. At first, it looked like darkness folding into itself. Then metal appeared. Black. Endless. A ship. Not a fleet. Just one. It was larger than any vessel the Galactic Council had ever built. Longer than cities. Wider than battle stations. Its surface absorbed light instead of reflecting it. No markings. No flags. No visible weapons. The ship did not rush forward. It stopped. Perfectly still. As if it wanted to be seen. Alien commanders stared at their screens in disbelief. What class is that? One asked. No answer came. Databases searched automatically. Nothing matched. The ship sent no signals. No threats. No greetings. Just its presence. And somehow, that was worse. A senior admiral whispered, "That's not a warship." His voice shook. "That's a warning." Emergency meetings were called across the council worlds. Leaders shouted over each other. Fear replaced confidence. Is this an invasion? Why only one ship? Where did it come from? No one knew. Then, finally, the silence broke. A single transmission reached every nearby system at once. Clear. Calm. Human. This is the Terran vessel Resolute. The name alone caused ancient systems to flag alerts. Old files tried to unlock. Many failed. The voice continued. "We observed your first contact. No anger. No pride. Just fact. We saw your decisions." Council leaders froze. The message went on. "We are not here to threaten." A pause. "We are here to be understood." The ship powered up slightly. Not weapons. Not shields. Sensors. Every alien vessel felt it. Like being examined under a light too bright to escape. "Terran technology," one scientist whispered. "It's beyond us." The transmission ended as suddenly as it began. The ship remained. Watching. Waiting. Far away, aboard the Resolute, human officers stood quietly at their stations. "Reaction?" the captain asked. "Fear," an officer replied. "Confusion. No hostile movement." The captain nodded. "Good. Orders?" another asked. The captain looked at the stars. "Hold position." Outside, the galaxy realized something far too late. First contact had never truly ended. It had only been the introduction. And now, the real conversation was about to begin. The Terran warship did not move. Minutes passed. Then hours. The massive black vessel stayed silent, floating in space like it had always belonged there. Alien fleets kept their distance. No one dared to get close. Fear spread without a single shot fired. Inside the Galactic Council Command Center, leaders argued loudly. They violated neutral space. They scanned our fleets. This is an act of aggression. But none of them ordered an attack. Deep down, they all knew the truth. If this ship wanted to fight, the battle would already be over. Suddenly, every screen in the chamber changed. The Terran warship was transmitting again. This time, it was not just a voice. A human figure appeared. Same species. Same calm eyes. Different presence. He wore a dark uniform. No medals. No symbols of rank. But his posture carried authority. He spoke slowly. "We noticed elevated stress levels among your fleets." The translator echoed his words. Elevated stress. The alien leaders were shocked. He continued. "This is understandable." A pause. First contact creates uncertainty. His voice was calm. Almost gentle. But every word felt heavy. "We want to clarify our position." The chamber fell completely silent. "We did not arrive to threaten your worlds." Another pause. "We arrived to prevent misunderstandings." An alien council member gathered courage. "If that is true, why bring a warship?" The human looked directly at the camera. "Because history taught us a lesson," he said. "We come in peace." The words were familiar. But peace without strength is only hope. The room felt cold. The human raised one hand slightly. "No sudden movement. Our warship will not fire." Relief spread, until he finished the sentence. "Unless fired upon." Several alien commanders swallowed hard. He continued. "We have studied your space for a long time." Shock rippled through the chamber. "You study us?" one leader demanded. The human nodded. Yes. No fleets detected us, another shouted. That is correct, the human replied. Silence followed. Then he said something that changed everything. You believe we are new to the stars. Another pause. We are not. The screen behind him shifted. Images appeared. Old battles. Ancient wrecks. Alien ships destroyed in forgotten wars. These conflicts never reached your records, the human explained. We made sure of that. The council could barely breathe. We do not expand for glory, he said. We do not conquer for pride. Then his eyes hardened slightly. But we do protect our future. The Terran Warship powered something up. Not weapons. Not shields. A small section of space in front of the ship disappeared. Not exploded. Erased. A clean, silent void remained. No energy spike. No warning. Just absence. The human spoke again. This demonstration cost us nothing. The message was clear. They could do far worse. The human straightened. You are safe, he said. As long as humans remain respected. Then his expression softened. We prefer cooperation. The transmission ended. No threats. No countdowns. Just truth. Across the galaxy, alien fleets slowly powered down their weapons. Council leaders sat in silence. They finally understood. Humans had not arrived as students. They had arrived as equals. And the Terran Warship was not there to start a war. It was there to make sure no one ever tried. Far away, aboard the Resolute, the captain exhaled slowly. Reaction? He asked. Total compliance, an officer replied. No hostile movement. The captain nodded. Good. Outside, the stars remained quiet. But the galaxy would never feel the same again. After the Terran message ended, the galaxy stayed silent. Not because systems failed. Because no one knew what to say. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, leaders sat still. Some stared at the empty screen. Others avoided each other's eyes. The confidence they once had was gone. One council elder finally spoke. His voice was low. We misjudged them. No one argued. Across the galaxy, emergency archives unlocked. Old data. Forgotten warnings. Half-deleted records. What they found made fear grow deeper. Human history was not peaceful. It was survival. On the Terran Warship Resolute, the captain stood alone for a moment. He looked at a small hologram in his hand. A blue planet. Earth. Scarred. Broken. Still alive. A junior officer approached quietly. Captain, they're accessing old war data. The captain nodded. They should. Humans never hid the truth forever. They just didn't lead with it. Back in the council chamber, the human representative appeared again. This time, there was no demonstration. No erased space. Just words. We did not speak of our past, he said calmly. Not because we are ashamed. But because pain is not a greeting. The screen shifted. Images appeared. Cities in ruins. Human colonies burning. Children hiding underground. Alien leaders watched in silence. These were our first lessons, the human said. We were not strong. We were not united. We almost ended ourselves. The images changed. Human ships improving. Defenses growing. People standing together. Then others came, he continued. They saw us as weak. They tested us. The council understood now. Humans were not born dangerous. They were made that way. Every war taught us something, the human said. Every loss shaped our rule. A council member asked carefully, "What rule?" The human looked straight ahead. "We never start wars." Relief spread. Then he added, "But we finish them." The room felt heavy again. "We learned patience," he continued. "We learned restraint. And most importantly," he paused, "we learned mercy is a choice." The Terran warship outside shifted slightly. No threat. Just presence. "We could have arrived with fleets," the human said. "We chose one ship. Because this meeting was not about fear. It was about understanding." Silence followed. An alien commander stood slowly. His armor seemed less proud now. "What do you want from us?" he asked. The human answered without hesitation. "Respect. No borders crossed. No colonies touched. No humans tested. Simple rules. Clear rules." The council whispered among themselves. This was not domination. This was a warning wrapped in peace. After a long moment, the council leader spoke. "We accept." The word echoed through the chamber. "We accept your terms." The human nodded once. "Then there will be no war," he said. The transmission ended. Outside, the Terran warship powered down its systems. Not fully. Never fully. As the Resolute prepared to leave, alien ships moved aside respectfully. No one followed. No one scanned too closely. They had learned enough. As the ship entered hyperspace, a young alien officer whispered, "They could rule us." His commander replied quietly, "They don't want to." "And that," he added, "is why we should never forget what they are capable of." Far away, aboard the Terran vessel, the captain looked forward. "Set course for home," he said. "Yes, Captain." As stars stretched into light, one truth remained across the galaxy. Humans did not seek power. They carried it. And they used it only when there was no other choice. The Terran warship was gone. The stars slowly returned to normal. Sensors worked again. Communication lines cleared. Trade routes reopened. But nothing felt the same. Across the galaxy, news spread faster than light. Not about war. Not about destruction. About restraint. About a species that could erase space itself, and chose not to. On council worlds, schools changed their lessons. Military academies updated their simulations. Old jokes about weak humans disappeared overnight. New words replaced them. Cautious. Patient. Unbreakable. The Galactic Council met again 1 week later. This time, there was no laughter. The chamber was quiet. Respectful. The council leader spoke first. "We believed power must be shown loudly," he said. "Humans showed us the opposite." Another leader added, "They brought one ship." "And that was enough," someone replied. New laws were written. Human space was marked clearly. Human colonies were listed as protected zones. Any attack on humans would be treated as a crime against the entire galaxy. Not because humans demanded it. Because no one wanted to learn the hard way. Far away, on Earth, the news was simple. No parades. No victory speeches. Just a short message released to the public. First contact successful. People nodded and went back to their lives. Farmers worked. Children played. Ships were built quietly in deep space. Humans did not celebrate survival. They were used to it. On a distant alien world, an old veteran watched the stars from a balcony. He had fought many wars. He had seen many conquerors. None scared him like humans. Because conquerors took. Humans endured. His grandson asked, "Grandfather, why are humans so strong?" The old one thought for a long moment. They learned early, he said, that the universe does not care. And they chose to care anyway. In hidden shipyards, Terran engineers continued their work. Not to attack. Not to expand. To prepare. Just in case. On a distant patrol route, a young alien captain stared at a human ship passing by. It was small. Quiet. Unarmed. He ordered his crew, maintain distance. Why? An officer asked. The captain answered softly, because that species does not bluff. And somewhere beyond known space, in the deep dark where maps end, a Terran signal beacon pulsed slowly. A warning. A promise. Humanity had entered the galaxy peacefully. But the galaxy would remember one truth forever. Humans do not ask to be feared. They earn respect. And once earned, they never lose it.